So Jordan, so hard tangent.
Sure.
New York Times. This is. Yeah, I'm pretty down on. I shouldn't say the whole newspaper. I'm sure there's sections of it that I would go, yeah, cool. But they wrote an article about the guys of Slate Star Codex, who is now like Astral Codex. I don't know. I think it's called Slate Star Codex, Justin, if you don't mind. I think some people asked what it was actually called. I might have gotten the name wrong. But if you Google that, you should be in the right area.
You'll get there.
They did an article about him. I spoke about it last time. He didn't want them to release the name. They did. And it's a classic New York Times article. They did one on Joe Rogan that is all about the associations they can make to this person to make them bad.
Yeah.
It was just like, this is a bad guy. And one of the sections that I quoted is
the Joe Rogan one is the one that Steven Crowder was upset by or something.
Joe Rogan
they just had the images. Is this right? And like you scroll down and you see people's faces next to each other.
They just associated him with things that are bad. That was it. They rather than attack Joe, they just stand you next to people that are understood by their readership to be bad.
Yeah, they're like,
Joe Rogan had a neo-Nazi on it. At one point said, "Yes, I agree with you." Like that's the type. This is exactly very similar to this quote.
Yeah.
So it's about the Slate Star Codex guy, and it says in one post, he aligned himself with Charles Murray, and that's hyperlinked, who proposed a link between race and IQ in the bell curve. In another, he pointed out that Mr. Murray believes black people are genetically less intelligent than white people. Now, Charles Murray is an interesting example of somebody who's been like, I think in my understanding is people treat him as racist without reviewing his work and being interested in it. It is a question that one should be able to ask and at least attempt to answer sincerely is, okay, are there different heights between people of different races? Are there we have done this, penis sizes. Does Durex need to make different penis or different condom sizes when they're selling to African nations versus when they sell to Asian nations or the United States of America?
Like, yeah, what Charles Murray did is he looked at IQ across race.
Yes, and to be clear, you can't do this independent of socioeconomics. Like all these things need to be accounted for.
I don't think that the report shows anything genetic.
His?
Yeah.
I haven't read a ton about Charles. I think it does.
No, I'm saying I don't think it does.
Oh, you're saying that you don't buy the conclusion that it does.
I don't know what the conclusion is, but I think the work pre the conclusion is just taking cohorts of race and looking at their mean IQs.
Yes. So in any event,
that's work that seems like should be non-controversial. Now, if his conclusion is genetics, I think you got to take into account nutrition and amount of trauma during childhood. And there's a lot of things that could skew that. But I think that potentially that could lead to a really great question, which is if one race is lower, why?
And what do we do about it? Yeah.
Is there a way we can fix this such that we give people a better chance to succeed because we're focusing on nutrition from 0 to 10? You know what I mean? Yeah. Versus if you don't allow the study, you can't.
Or discussion about it in any event.
You can't fix the potential problems.
So that's Charles Murray. But for the purposes of this discussion, let's just pretend that he's a no good, very bad, very bad. Okay. So let's say in one post, he aligned himself with a no good, very bad, who proposed a no good, very bad. In another, he pointed out that the no good, very bad believes a no good, very bad. And the point is, I clicked the hyperlink and
he doesn't say anything.
Dude, he says, on this, I agree with him. Which is to say, like, if Hitler liked dogs I say, I agree with Hitler there. The New York Times,
funny is in
all of their, will write that paragraph.
What's funny is in an article, you could even be being facetious or going for humor. Like, Adolf Hitler.
Oh, dude, he did this. He made a joke.
Dude, he wanted to kill all the Jews. He wanted to kill all of the, Romanian people. He wanted to this, and he loved dogs. And in the latter, I can at least agree.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, well, now you can take that out of context. But maybe my writing style is one that is tongue in cheek.
Yes.
So I'm, by the way, completely shitting on the racist parts of Hitler's stuff.
So he makes like, it's a hyperbole. He compares feminists to something hyperbolic. I forget. To Nazis or something. And it's like it's the end of a paragraph and it's his style it's engaging. And they said, in one, he compared feminists to Nazis, and I clicked the hyperlink there and I went to it, and on his thing, he has it struck out. It says, I totally don't do this. Please don't take this out of context and post it all over the internet. Thanks. And it's just like, it was one errant thing. And I really do want to talk to these authors who do this stuff and be like, tell me what you think you're doing when you do this. You believe that you've, what are you conveying? Is that what you mean to convey?
Well, my guess would be you don't start with like, what's the most true way to represent this person? You start with, this is a bad person and I need to make sure people know they're bad. Now let's write a story that I know if people read it, they won't like this guy. And what is that going to do? It's going to prevent people from finding his bad work. It's an ends justifies the means thing. It's like,
perhaps,
am I painting a full picture? That's just my guess. Am I painting a full picture of this guy? Absolutely not. But what my goal is not to accurately represent him. It's to make it so that people who have never heard of him know that he's bad, don't go to him if they find him later, and poo-poo people who bring him up. And so then I would
have to talk to this person to know. That's my guess. Makes sense. But I think where I actually really stand is I wouldn't even bet on that because, I don't know, man. I generally believe that almost everyone is sincere. Like, and so
I think that is sincere.
Yeah.
This is a bad man. And this article is going to stop people from finding this bad man. And I sincerely think I'm doing good in the world.
I think few people are ends justify means people. I think that most people would say that they... Am I wrong on that?
I think most people are ends justify.
Am I wrong on that one?
Anyone who tells a white lie is an end justifies the means person.
Oh, what do they say about that? I guess I would... They don't admit that what they're doing is wrong?
I'm going to take off work today. Well, what am I going to do? I'm going to say I'm sick. Why don't you just say that you want to take off work to surf? Well, because then they'll dislike me. My boss will look down on me.
Yeah.
This is the truth. You're going to take off work to surf. Yeah, but if I tell him I'm sick, I get to go surf.
I got it.
And my boss won't think less of me, so I can still get the promotion.
Got it.
That's ends justifies the means.
Sorry. People don't, I think, very few people will say the words the ends justify the means, but they will describe the ends justifying the means.
That's straight up ends justifies the means.
Yes.
And I think that's what these authors are.
Okay.
This is a bad guy, and I'm helping the world. I'm going to get there by writing this article. They're not going to say I'm going to get there by doing a lying hit piece.
Yes. Interesting. Yeah, I need to hang out with some more people. Hope that you guys enjoyed that clip. If you want to see more like this and have us do more podcasts, we are 100% funded by our generous patrons. And if you'd like to contribute, there's a link in the description, and we'll have one pop up on the screen right here so that we can do more podcasts where we have fun conversations and hopefully some deep ones like this. Either way, hope that you enjoyed the video, and I will see you in the next one.